Hello again. This is right after the Naga patch dropped, so before the recent balance. I wanted to include it because it's one of the best strategies for whenever radical patches like this happen. Tess's healer power really shines when a lot of people are trying to do the same thing as you, or when you're Menagerie. This was day one after the patch, so everyone was still just forcing Naga. So of course everyone's going to be Naga, and your hero power can get you plenty of triples, plenty of strong minions. So yeah, we start off, we're just going to pick up the coin Naga, tie our first combat, because that's pretty much what we expect at this point. Go back to the store, and we're just going to go ahead and upgrade. Standard turn 2 play, you rarely deviate from it unless you're going for achievements or there's a few heroes where you'd want to do that. In combat, we get absolutely wrecked. And here's where our coin minion pays off. We get to go ahead and pick up 2 on turn 3 without having to sell anything. So we'll pick up the rat and taunt Naga. Go ahead and give the rat the taunt. And in combat we easily win. Turns out that the rat's pretty strong, especially if you can give him taunt. Back to the lobby, nothing much going on here. We don't want anything from our opponent's lineup still. It's pretty early to be activating hero power, so we're just going to pick up 2 minions. In this case, Free Dealer and the Quillbore. Go ahead and go with the Quillbore taunt to basically guarantee us that blood gem. And combat doesn't really go how we want it to, but not a big deal this early. It's turn 5, so we're just going to do the standard upgrade and minion. In this case, not a bad one. Picking up a 6/4 Divine Shield here. You could definitely do worse. In combat, we're luckily able to walk away with a tie. It seems like we should have lost that one, but a lot of things went our way. Here, I go ahead and refresh with our opponent's lineup. He had 2 Tough Tusk, so I'm not going to look a free triple in the mouth. And we even have the Blood Gem to give him permanent Divine Shield. The Discover doesn't really give us anything I actually want, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the Free Dealer into a Lava Lurker to get some pumps going on him, and play the Gold Grubber. Now this board is more what we're looking for. Combat itself was not amazing, but a tie is still not a loss. We're going to happily hero power here. I just check his board to make sure. Typically on this turn is when you would upgrade, but I decided it was better to just grab his board while I could. Even still, I could have grabbed his board and just frozen it, but instead I cashed in a few minions and figure if I could just buy 3 minions, then we're good. Spend the last 2 gold from selling our board to roll, and let's see what the next guy brings us. First thing I did when I rolled this board was laugh, honestly. It's not great, and we were clearly going to win, but he did have another Lava Lurker, and we are going to 4 this turn, so we get to discover a 5 drop, which is good. There's a lot of key Naga on 5. Make sure I play the spells first, just in case the Discover gets us another spell. We want to be able to play it and keep it. We miss on that, but Leroy is very good, so we'll go ahead and take that. The roll hands us Shoal Commander, one of the key spells for Lava Lurker, ideally +7/+7 every turn. And here we go, more winners from our opponent this time. We have Siren, we have Wind Fury, exactly what we're looking for, and exactly what we expect from playing Tess in a world where everyone is playing Naga. Go ahead and knock him out of the game, so those are back in the pool. Pick up that Shoal Commander we froze last turn, and hero power. Lots of goodies for us. A second copy of Shoal Commander if we want it, Wind Fury, and the Witch, and conveniently we also have 3 non-Naga to get rid of. I decided that since I sold all those big minions, I really needed more power, so a second copy of the Shoal effect was needed. In reality, I probably just should have not played the Wind Fury. There's no reason to play it here. I could have played it next turn instead. Just played both the Shoals, hoped for another gold, dumped both the Shoal spells on the Lava Lurker. Either way, it wasn't enough for this combat, and unfortunately our opponent didn't really have anything we wanted. It happens. A natural roll gives us Wave Rider and Eventide. At this point in the patch, I still hadn't realized what I believe to be the best strategy for Naga, which is 1 slot for Witch, 1 slot for a payoff card that's either Critter Wrangler or the 6-drop, and then 5 Spellcraft minions. And if you can't get the Golden Witch, then 2 Witches and 4 Spellcraft minions is better than 1 Witch and 5. So that being said, that strategy leaves no room for things like Eventide or even Lava Lurker. But Lava Lurker can be a good, stopgap. He's strong enough to get you through the early game and let you transition to that build, because that build takes time, especially now after the most recent balance patch, with Siren being a 5-drop. Another combat that unfortunately has nothing for us, someone going Quillbore. Pick up that Siren refroze, and I roll once before deciding whether or not to upgrade. Like I said, this is pre-patch again, so getting to 5 isn't nearly as important. It is still important, because there are a lot of strong 5-drops for Naga. Alright, this is the kind of combat we want. It's got our 3rd Siren, and it's got the 6-drop, and Shoal. So we get 2 triples, actually 3 triples even, because we can freeze the Eventide off of this. We may have lost the combat, but it doesn't matter, that's exactly what we wanted. Man, that's a lot of up arrows. So I end up going with Eventide, Siren, and then picking up the 6-drop and freezing what's left. Tide Mistress, the 6-drop I've been referring to, is obviously one of the keys to this deck functioning. Ideally, I just wouldn't have the Eventide or the Lava Lurker, but for right now, they're big enough that I basically just want to hold on to them. It's going to take time for the rest of my minions to get anywhere near their stature. And I don't even have the right minions anyways. You want things like the Divine Shield Naga, things that are going to provide themselves with real powers. The Shoal Commander isn't the ideal example. He buffs himself, but that doesn't matter. Power and toughness. If we wanted power and toughness, we just keep the Eventide. And Kel'Thuzad turn, an easy win, which is exactly what we needed, so we could afford to do riskier things with our board. Our play wasn't exactly risky, but it's always good to be playing against Kel'Thuzad. Here we play the 2nd Wave Rider from our hand before buying the gold one. Maximize your spells, because that's how you get all the pumps. And I pick up the eel from the lineup as well, just like I said, to maximize my spells. I was debating whether or not to play the Tide Mistress, but I didn't want to get stuck with her in play if we didn't hit one off of all our discovers, but then we immediately hit one anyways, and another one. And now I just throw caution to the wind and just go ahead and play it. Having a gold one and a normal one in play, every spell is pumping by so much. It's ridiculous. There's no other way to put it. The only thing we need now really to seal this deck away is the Divine Shield Naga, and we would happily take that and replace anything with it, honestly. And then I refreshed it with my hero power just in case I'd forgotten something from my last opponent's lineup. And for this combat, we are going to get rewarded with another Tide Mistress. Illidan's really doing us some favors here. Our board is so ridiculously large now. The combat's not even close, and we just go ahead and knock him out of here. Sneed takes care of the other Demon Hunter, and we are looking at the end of the game. We go ahead and blow our hero power to pick up another copy of Tide Mistress. We know that Sneed has one, so if I survive this combat but don't kill him, then I can get the gold from him. And while we're here, I decide since we're sitting on 6 gold, we might as well just pick up 2 more copies of the Siren. Having 2 gold Sirens would mean 4 spells every turn, so we could replace something like Eventide even at that point. So combat loads up, and his Naga build has not exploded like ours has. We wipe the floor with him. It's not even close, although, hey, when we kill his Tide Mistress, it does poop out a bunch of creatures. 27 him, so he still gets to stick around for 1 more turn, but I have a feeling he's just going to leave. Go ahead and grab his lineup to pick up the Tide Mistress, and I pick up the Siren as well. I don't actually plan on keeping it, but it is a free triple, which means a spell for Tide Mistress. And I can grab some of the other spells that he had conveniently. The Wave Rider, the Shoal Commander, the Eel. Sell everything in my hand, I'm not going to need it anymore. This is all probably overkill, but it's definitely a case of rather safe than sorry. Let's go ahead and play all my spells, pick up another copy of Tide Mistress. I'm obviously not going to need that. Roll for value, and move on to what I'm certain is the most one-sided combat to ever occur. And like I thought, he already left. Game just didn't update. He knew the writing was on the walls. His entire board couldn't kill my Lava Lurker. A perfect example of just how Tess works in a new meta, when everyone's doing the same thing. Like, this entire deck was just built by my opponents. Very, very few of these cards I believe I actually got on my own. 2 of the Shoal guys, and 1 of the Double Strike guys, and an Eventide. That's it. Everything else, like I took 2 Lava Lurkers from someone else, and that's the advantage of Tess in a new meta. And that's it. Yeah. Do YouTube stuff, don't do YouTube stuff. Got at least 1 or 2 more of these I wanted to record, so we'll see how many I actually get done, and I will see you all eventually.